We don't play the social game. We are social. Power 98.5.
Hi, this is Dan Aykroyd. He's progressive. He's beautiful. He's thoughtful. He's intelligent. He's powerful. He's positive. He is Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5 Satellite Radio.
You're listening to Power 98.5, powered by United Angels Dream, your number one resource for public relations, entertainment, and multimedia. Contact them today at unitedangelsdream.com.
Empowering listeners from the US to the UK. Live on air with Stephen Cuoco.
Hey, what's up? My name's Grant Kanoki. I'm a singer, songwriter, producer, and artist, and you're listening to Power 98.5.
I have a really, really good quote to start with today. I got this off of Instagram. One of my friends ended up sharing this. Speak to people in a way that if they died the next day, you'd be satisfied with the last thing you said to them. I'm going to repeat that again. Speak to people in a way that if they died the next day, you'd be satisfied with the last thing you said to them. Let's say you're in a moment. I've had them most recently, and you're speaking and know that you're speaking your truth. You feel that you are standing up for yourself. You're defending yourself. You know, are you responding or reacting? Know the difference. A lot of times when, I love the F-bomb. I believe the F-bomb is very colorful. It's the second word that I spoke when I was a child. The first word I believe was pop-pop, because my grandfather was the beacon of light, the cell tower, the what did they call that thing? I can't believe it. It's my mother's lighthouse. Thank you. Love you guys. The lighthouse of all of our lives. Everyone has a grandfather that's like that. Mine, Sicilian grandfather, beacon, lighthouse of our life. And even when something is spoken that may not be loving or a little bit offset, you can always correct that. You can always come back to the table and ask for forgiveness, to apologize or not apologize for how you delivered the message, yet you're not apologizing for speaking your truth. Whatever it may be, have that balance. Don't regret being honest. And it was a conversation I had with someone today. I'm working on a project with a client of mine and a company. And text messaging is not a way to do business. You have to follow the law. If something were to happen, you go to court and a judge asks you, what did you do to verify and vet all information? Did you have weekly meetings? What did you do to build relationship and rapport to the betterment of your company, your relationships, and to the clients? Oh, we just text. That's not good enough. And especially when money is involved and people are involved and you're doing business, you need to build these relationships. Talk to them, Zoom them, Skype them, have coffee with them, whatever it is. Get out from behind the stinking texting and emailing. It is beyond imperative. And I let it be known, because I stood in my own truth without dropping the F-bomb, is that texting is not my favorite or best form of communication. We're doing business. We need to have weekly conversations. This is not working for me. I stood in my power. This is not working for me. It may be working for the both of you, and that you have reasons to be distracted, but we have a contract agreement and commitment here. We have a responsibility to communicate and to do business in a way that honors all things and everyone. And text messaging, or solely text messaging, isn't it? Because you know what that means? It means I'm going to pay attention to you and to commit to you and devote time to you when I feel like it, when I'm ready for it, when I have time for you, and that. You're getting a paycheck. You are being highlighted and put into the spotlight. You're receiving, and I'm going to reemphasize, an exorbitant amount of money. You have a responsibility. And even if money is not on the table, you have a responsibility to the commitment. Speak your truth. Be as honorable as you can be. But also at the same time, if you happen to say something uncolorful, unloving, whatever it may be, just do your best to breathe. Take as much time as you need to in order to recalibrate. And with love and respect, just as I did today, you go back to the table, you ask the questions, you ask how they're feeling, you ask, is there anything that needs to be addressed, or is there anything that's unsettled, or anything that we should have a compromise and understanding on in this moment moving forward, so the air is clear, so we can do things in a really, really exceptional way. That's my advice for today. It's my advice for every day. And I really hope that that helps, because that was a powerful quote that I read. I felt that move throughout my body, and I thought, wow, the synergy, the serendipitousness of it. And then just my conversation with a couple people this morning that I had to do through text because they wouldn't answer the phone if I called up because they're too busy. Well, as I stated in the text message, that the project we're working on doesn't come second, doesn't come third, it comes first. And even with the distractions and projects and stuff that I'm working on, I'm not going to use that as an excuse by saying, oh, I'm going to get around to it. No, I made it very clear in that text message that this project and how I work on this project is going to be treated as though you never knew I was working with anyone else. And if that's something you can't do, then either consider not taking a lot on your plate or consider hiring a team and someone that can assist you, because that's not fair that you get a great contract and make really good money, and yet you're telling the people that are paying you for a service and paying you for help that you're going to get around to it whenever you feel like doing it. That's not how it works. And that's not how it works when you work with me. Breath moment. All right, today we've got what I like to say, my up-and-coming, extraordinarily exceptional and wonderful friend, Chef Jeana Marie, Jeana Pecha. She's from this season of Pressure Cooker Season 1 on Netflix. We're going to go over all the great things about Jeana in a moment. Whether you're listening to us on the iOS or Android app or on power985.com, click the bottom messenger in the right-hand corner, share your love, give a shout out, whatever it may be. Contact me and my team, and we'll go ahead and we will, let Jeana know that you love her and that you have a question for her, or anything about the show at all. You're more than welcome to click that bottom messenger sooner than later, so we can get it into the show and speak about it on air live. We have upcoming my really, really good friend, love him, and I hope to have the chance to work with him and represent him. Olympic gold medalist, Ryan Murphy. He's the swimmer. I always say, he's next in line. You've got Michael Phelps, you've got Caleb Dressel, and then I say you've got Ryan Murphy. He's supposed to be here with us. And Monday, January 20th, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And then we have Team USA wrestler Daniel DeShazer. He's on the 17th, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Get your questions, comments in. Like I said, whether you're listening on the app or on the website, power985.com, click that bottom messenger. Send all your stuff over to us early so that we can speak about it and talk about it live on the show. Just interviewed music artist Justin Love. Second interview was yesterday, Valentine's Day special. That interview is available now on all podcast platforms. Remember, this is a radio show, not a podcast. That uploading and submitting this show live on air with Stephen Cuoco on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Amazon Audible, and Spotify is there so that no one has a reason as to why they can't tune in and listen to the latest and the greatest. And whether you know my guests or not, they are definitely worth knowing. And you can share the link. The links are there, whatever platform you primarily use. However, always double check the schedule on Power 98.5 as to when any show is upcoming, whether pre-recorded or a live and a re-air of that live interview, just like with Jeana Marie today on Power 98.5. And we have other shows, Catherine and Company with Miss Catherine Swain, and we have Resilient You with Alicia Pazzoni. Double check the schedule for your time zone. We have a lot of listeners, 200 countries. Not everybody is East Coast, Pacific, Mountain, Central here. Like when we think about the UK is 8 hours ahead of, people who live on the Pacific coast. So once again, no matter where, or even if we're talking Australia, they're in a whole other day. They're not like right now. It is Tuesday. Wednesday. It's 11:11 a.m., which means it's Thursday in Australia. So always check the schedule. Do we have anything else, guys, on the table? Yeah, that's right. Thank you, James Pratt. Some people were asking. Yes, that interview is available. Spotify, Amazon Music, Amazon Audible, and iHeartRadio. Actor, producer, James Pratt. He was just on February 11th, Saturday. You can listen to that now. Double check it. Click the link if you're on any of my socials. Click the link, whether it's Model Me VIP, United Angels Dream, my PR Instagram page, Stephen Cuoco, Power 98.5. I've got my direct.me and my Hoobie link in there. You can easily get the app. Or even Alexa. We stream live 24/7 on Alexa. You can get that from the direct.me apps. You can also get it from my Hoobie app. So any one of my Instagram pages or my Twitter page or even my Facebook pages, even Pinterest. Did you guys see this? Did you guys see this today? We know, I just spoke about this when I had Justin Love on. I'm loving Pinterest. And if any of you, I said it before, I'm going to say it again. If you're into TikToking, gay baiting to where you're a heterosexual guy, loving it, puffing it, massaging it, pumping it, lifting it on TikTok and Instagram to try to gay bait, Pinterest is not made for that. It's not made for your OnlyFans. Don't be foolish. Pinterest is made for sophisticated people like Jeana Marie, Chef Jeana Marie, or Robbie Jester, or someone like myself. When you have really, really good high-end quality content where it's very informative, it's engaging, it's enlightening, it has purpose. TikTok dancing, juicy fruiting, muscle peck popping, semi-erect penis photos of you in Calvin Klein underwear calling yourself a professional fitness trainer. That's not for Pinterest. So just want to make it very clear so you don't fuck up that app and mess things up for the rest of us. And then Pinterest has to go in and change. God only knows what they need to change because now you guys turned that into a Playboy porn site as well as you have already done with Instagram and TikTok and Twitter, because Twitter is just loaded with OnlyFans. Let's see here. I just loved, I'm so done being like so kind all the time about certain things that are glorified, and I just get into my mood to where it's like, I'm sure if someone were to show how to spice up, freshen up, and sweeten up your butthole using lollipops for douche or whatever, like an enhancement, oh my God, it'll probably get verified on Instagram, because I can't even get verified on Instagram over 30 years in working in entertainment, media, and PR. But if you've got an OnlyFans or you're so-called bodybuilder, Juicy Fruitin' on Instagram, you can get verified. That's what I'm talking about. 740,000 monthly views. I was at 2 million on Pinterest. And thank you to Christina, because I didn't realize my numbers went up. Now I only have about I've got over 7.1 thousand followers, but I rough 747,000 monthly views. You want to know why? Go to my Pinterest. Take a look at the content that's being shared there. People respect really, really good quality content. Now, I'm not saying my numbers are bad on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. They could be better. But keep in mind, those apps seem to be to where it's muscle pecking, juicy fruit inducing, and God only knows what. And crazy dances that I have no idea how they make any sense. I mean, me, moving around and doing the Kam Shinatra or whatever on the toilet while I'm taking a shit, like that's more interesting because I'm doing something to help my bowels. And I'm doing something as I'm spinning around, rotating. We're going to go. I don't want to go. Let me see. Can we go to TikTok without it popping up on here? Okay. So there is a TikTok page I love. Kung Fulu 0. KUNGFULU 0. They have all of these techniques that help you to poop better, live better, lift up, spine support, strength. It's a really, really great page. Like one where you kick yourself in the butt. I know. All right. So it's a great way to tone your shoulders, neck, and back. I love that one. Where's the one where you kick yourself in a butt? All right. Do this exercise to help with the meridians of your stomach. Droopy, you kick yourself in the ass. This helps with droopy stomach, stomach pain, stomach acid, and bloating. I'm telling you, I've been doing this now for a couple months. And every day or when I feel like it, I don't force myself. I let my body, my brain, my prefrontal cortex, my central peripheral and autonomic system know that, hey, we're going to be going into Kung Fulu. Let's get ready. Let's have some fun because I really want to have fun. And I'm going to tell you, I enjoy it. There is so much here. You go on here, like there's a tip where you just bend over and you just shake it out. And if you're feeling clogged up, if you want to feel more relaxed because you're feeling sluggish or lethargic, try these techniques. TikTok, Kung Fulu 0. Love it. See, that's where it should be. And they got some really good numbers there. 2.7 million, 896,000. But these numbers make sense because it's totally worth it. Did we catch up for everything this morning? Yeah, I know. I've instead of going right into the interview, I've been getting a lot more personal and personable with my interviews and when starting off. And it's different and I like it. And it's something that took me a while to get used to because I like to make it all about my guests and what they're doing. And speaking of guests, ooh, can you hear that? Rubbing my hands together because this is exciting. Chef Jeana Marie, all right? She was just on this season of Netflix Pressure Cooker, season 1. She was one of the main highlights along with Mike Eccles and Robbie Jester. You guys all know I had Mike and Robbie on the show. She is a professional culinary career, and she started at the age of 14 as a dishwasher and a prep chef at Roseville's McCormick and Schmick's Seafood and Steakhouse. She continued working in food service throughout high school, participating in the culinary ROP program and working in the kitchen at every opportunity. After graduation, Chef Jeana accepted a culinary internship in Manzanillo, Mexico, working alongside Chef Freddy Gonzalez Alatriste. Oh, God, she's going to have to help me. Jeana, what is that? It's Chef Freddy Gonzalez
Alatriste.
Alatriste. I like that. Can you imagine being called Mrs. Alatriste?
She's hot, yeah.
Is she?
Yes.
In his restaurant, Chef Para Llavart.
Para Llavart.
Just days after returning from Mexico, Jeana was offered the position of lead line cook at Roseville's The Place, creating handmade pasta, pizza, and other Italian favorites. Your information, everything that you have here is so long, but it shows from 14 to where you're at now how serious you've taken learning, educating yourself, finding the pros, find the people who have passion, Jeana, and really incorporate it by creating your own signature identification for what a chef needs to be, should be, for being Ms. Chef Jeana Marie.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that the culinary arts industry saved me because I was probably headed down the wrong path. And then, you just have like this glimmer of hope. And it was like just step my toes into the water. I did like a full dive. And it's funny because I just feel like I still haven't come up out of that dive yet. Like I'm going down deeper and deeper, and I'm still learning, and every opportunity I have to work for free or to do something new, I do it because I love learning. I love meeting people, and this industry is going to keep me keep me alive a long time because there's just never ending learning.
I'm going to go to your Instagram page. Let me see what one. All right, I have to go to my other one. Hold on, let's see here because I'm going to pull you up. All right, Chef Jeana. There you are. By the way, loving your profile photo. That is hot.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it's like a little I love like everything dark and scary and horror. And I used to act in a haunted house. And so it's just like, that's just part of my little bit of my passion.
You did a great job on the promo video. And we look exceptional side by side. I rarely use that photo. I've got to get updated photos done. I like the way we look in that photo.
Yes, I was going to say, I love this because and I also need to get updated photos. I am not good at being like, okay, I need headshots now because it's always so much about the food. But I do love that photo of us. We look like we're like lifelong friends.
We do, and we are. We're here in a new dimension, a new timeline, and we're having fun again.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Love it.
Big shout out to our mutual friend, Robbie Jester. He spoke highly about you, as you know, on his interview. We had a great conversation about you behind the scenes. And I'm so happy that he suggested that you belong on this show. And I'm grateful to him to have done that because the energy that we have with each other is amazing. And I still feel it. And as you know, I would love to work with you.
And I would love to as well, because I think there is something we said when you feel comfortable in your own skin with somebody, but then you can also learn from them. And it's hard to find that balance, from someone who you feel like comfortable to ask questions to, because there's so many opportunities. There's so many times where you go around people and you're scared to ask questions. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the just the aura or the vibes, but it always sets me at ease when I feel like I can ask any question and learn as much as I can and just be the sponge that I want to be. And I get that from you 100%.
I appreciate that. And here's the thing, whether someone loves me, likes me, understands me, or gets pissed off with me, the fact of it is that, and we know when people get upset, it's never directly to us. It's either because they were prevented to do something that they knew they couldn't do or take advantage to do it, at your expense, or that they're not hearing what they want to hear and have a problem with the fact that they're perceiving the lack of accommodation, which we're not here to accommodate and make someone else's life solely beneficial for them at the expense of self. With this question I have for you, Jeana, have you learned through life? And has it ever been a problem? And if so, what have you done to correct it, to not be an instrument, an ally, and a servant in subservitude in a one street motional movement of making it about someone else where they purposely and intentionally excluded you? What have you done to make sure that you're not forgotten, you're not excluded, and that you will be respected?
That is such a awesome question, because it's something that I actually haven't spent a lot of time thinking about because it happens over time. Because it was very much me when I was younger. I was the one girl that was friends with every single group. So it wasn't like I was, at the head of any group because I was always running around trying to figure out my place. And then when I found the kitchen, I realized very quickly that your words are what make people respect you. It's your actions. And I was like, I can work with that because I know that I can always be the first one that shows up and I always can be the last one to leave and I can make sure my work is perfect. So when I kind of found out that in my career, that your work really shines over your words and over your past and over all that, I could leave everything at the door and just be the hardest worker in the room. Did that. And then rose my head up from all my work I'm doing and realized that the people around me really, really respected me and were really, really excited to watch me grow. And it was just something that kind of happened over time because, when you're as focused as I've been and putting my head down and being like, okay, let's make sure my knife skills are good. Let's make sure one thing after another I'm just focusing on. And I come home and I watch YouTube videos and I practice. And, that kind of makes me, really lonely and seized up by myself. And so you don't really know what's going on. You don't know what people think of you when you're doing that. And so I've been delighted to find out that when I do that, but come up to kind of surface and see what's going on, people are like, wow, we really respect you. You're doing great. Can we work with you more? And that's always just an interesting thing because it's almost like I have blackouts in my career where I'm just not focused on the people around me. And then I look up and everybody's like Team Jeana and I love it. And I have a staff right now that works for free just because they love me and they want this restaurant to open. And it's been an interesting thing. So I really let my work shine. And then I try to follow it up with, words of affirmation and love to everyone who, loves me for me.
You know that you were here with us and you know that I opened up the show and I was vulnerable and shared about communication and what communication should be, and especially when business is involved, or if you're in a marriage or a relationship, or if you have responsibilities of an animal or whatever, and you've got a partner there with you. Knowing what I shared in the beginning about how texting doesn't work, and the concern that I have. What did you hear? What did you feel from my own experience most recently? How did that resonate with you? And are you experiencing that yourself?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, listening to that, I felt it pretty deeply because I was like, man, there's a couple of people I need to call. And it's not that I'm not a texter at all. So I was right there with you. It's like, if you have something to say, call me, talk to me, let's go out to coffee, because my attention is so specific. If I'm giving you attention, I'm giving you attention. And I feel like we both, agree on that. But then what my downfall is on that is I have so many people that text me and say, hey, great show, you're great. Long text messages, things like that. And I'm like, that to me isn't personal. And so I don't end up responding to as many of those things as I should, but it's not because it's not important to me. It's just, that's not my communication style. My communication style is a call, is a cup of coffee. It would be so much different if they texted me and said, hey, let's schedule a call, or let's go out to coffee, or hey, I want to talk to you. But when I get these text messages, they feel more like work. So that's kind of on the personal side. And then on a work side, I am email and a call and a verify. After I'm done with a call, I send you an email to go over what we just talked about, because I am moving at such a fast pace that I need to make sure that there's a written version of what we said, as well as I just want to make sure that they know that I'm listening, because I think that professionalism really is really important to listen to the person. And that involves voice.
Do you believe, and I'm processing this question as nothing is planned. Do you believe that there could be an underlining problem that someone is more willing to stay comfortable in the shadows, whether personally or professionally? When do you feel that? I guess what I'm asking, and I didn't plan this, I just feel very comfortable with you. And we never know how shows are going to go. And I'm asking for myself because I know what to do and how to do it. But I'm going to tell you today, I wanted to give a phone call, leave a message. And I'm telling you, Jeana, I have had people scheme, scam. I've done contracts. I've helped people make hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, with the knowledge and things to do. And I have no problem walking away. And certain things have happened, and I understand that, when things change and maneuver, I was in a space today where I was like, should I go ahead and say thank you for the opportunity, but I'm backing out? And I prayed about it, and then something was like, don't do that just yet, because there could be hope that they could be learning something from you because they're so conditioned to do what they're doing. And even though you feel it's poor behavior and unprofessional behavior on a consistent level, that to stick with it and to be that team player, that there could be a bigger position and a bigger learning opportunity for everyone, even for me to break through my own uncomfortability when I feel that I'm trying to open up a door that the other person is pushing with such great force and resistance to keep closed.
Wow. I mean, that I feel like people struggle with a lot, but they don't actually look at the picture like you're looking at it. Because it is so much more easy to just back out. It's so much easier. But the hard route, the route with much more adversary, is going to shape your life much more and quicker. And I think in those situations, I would do what you're considering doing, which is sticking through it and being a part of this situation that isn't ideal, because you're going to learn more from it. And I think that so many people just decide at their one point, they're like, I'm going to stop learning. I know what I need to know. And I think that's a really toxic trait. And I think that being open to challenging things, now at what cost though? You have to make sure your lines are there. You have to make sure your lines are there, because if they're not there, then it gets out of hand. So you have to kind of have those conversations with yourself. And I definitely constantly, now that I'm opening a business and people are trying to sell me on equipment and all these things, and there are contracts going on, you do have to have a conversation and say, okay, at what cost will I bend and learn? And, because a perfect world isn't going to make you a better person. A messed up, crazy world with weird things and people shelling out, that's going to make you the best version of yourself. So it's super tricky, but I totally connect with what you're saying.
I appreciate that, because when I was younger, there were times where I had the attitude and thought, and I would say expectation, because I had to grow up fast. I had to learn extremely fast what it meant to be an adult. And I learned from my family and from people in my life and from my friends and family, and just learning just by listening and observing, that there were so many things, even to this day, so many things that I would prefer not to have, not to happen, and not to experience in my life, because I witness, whether in my industry or outside of my industry, so much pain that people go through to either tolerate or to put the bigger picture first or to make exceptions. And I just think to myself, and you hit the box of nails, Jeana, through the board with one hammer swing on that. And I'm going to say I appreciate you and I agree with you. Like, I don't feel ready to just let it go just yet. But there is the Steven inside of me, the Steven that had to survive through a lot of environments, whether school or college or whatever it may be. And it's like, I've already made it clear to God and myself, this does not have permission to be in my environment, in front of me, or even to know that it exists, because I've seen enough of it. I've heard enough of it. And I watched too many people that I love and loved at one time for who they were, not for who they are now, because they've changed so much, allow injustice and to allow abuse. And I'm thinking, what the heck am I doing for myself, and how to be a leader and a good role model when I'm going through that experience, and it could be giving off the impression that it's okay for someone to treat themselves like shit, to ignore themselves, to neglect themselves, to speak bad about themselves. Who am I if change is not going to, if we don't know and have some sort of understanding that let's work towards change, when a person is just there constantly reminding you that that's not an option on the table. Either you do the Christian thing or the right thing, and you accept it for what it's worth and let them get through it and deal with it in their own time. That's what we're supposed to do. Is this making sense? How do we understand? How do we know when to say no? Just when to say no more.
I think that no doesn't always mean no more. Like, I feel like you could say no, like this isn't the path we're going down, but this is the one that we could go down. It's kind of like, you want to always give it one last swing, but I don't think that, promoting any kind of and I've dealt with so much self-hate, and I've dealt with so many people around me that have so much self-hate. So it sucks because that it's not as easy. It's not as like uncomplicated as it looks sometimes. It's not just as simple as stop, because when people don't treat their bodies well, don't treat their lives well, don't treat the people around them well, it usually is something that really needs to be addressed there. There's something going on in that person's life. There's some pain that maybe they don't even know. It's not easy, and it's not something they can get done, by themselves. They need an army, but it's like not at the cost of your business, not at the cost of your character, your morals. But yes, that person does need help. So it's a bridge, and you have to take each one completely different. Do you go over it or do you turn away? And they're all different. Every single situation is different. But I think that you said it perfectly at the beginning of the show. Make decisions that you're going to be okay with the next day. Say your truth, make a decision that the next day you're going to wake up feeling okay about what you did. And maybe you won't feel perfect because the situation isn't perfect, but you at least feel comfortable with yourself, and you're giving yourself the love that you need to get through the situation, because no one else is going to help you.
It's true. It's especially when they're unavailable and emotionally and mentally crippled. To not know how to move or do better.
Well, and I feel like especially you, it's probably like slightly a curse because you're so in tune with yourself. You have such a high understanding of what's going on in the world. Like, even when we first sat down and talked, you're like, ooh, I'm getting this, I'm getting this Scorpio vibe from you. And I'm like, yeah, so you read energies. You're very in tune with the world, which is such a good thing because it gives you the opportunity to help people. It gives the opportunity to get ahead and like learn new challenges and all these things. But it's also horrible because you have this sense of dread when things are going in a way that you can't control, and you're very aware of the situation. And it's such a tough thing to navigate. And it's like, it's just something that you have. I'm sure you deal with this more often than you want.
Yeah. Once again, Jeana, you picked the most perfect word, and that's what it feels like. And that's what it is. It's dread. I dance with dread very often.
Yeah. I mean, it's heavy. It's so heavy, but you're like, almost like, it sucks, but you're like a chosen person because you're strong enough to handle it. Other people couldn't handle it. You are strong enough to handle it, and it sucks, and it's not even fair, but you're strong enough to handle this and turn it into something that's a good thing for others.
Thank you for that. I knew I needed a friend, someone to talk to, because I'm extremely private, and I have come to realize that even with my friends from childhood and my own family, I don't reach out anymore, because it's not that I don't believe that they will be there, but when you make a phone call and be like, what's up, Steven? I only got a couple minutes to talk, and then I got to make dinner for my husband. Or what's up, Steven? I got to go and take the dog to the vet. What's up, Steven? Like it's always, for the most part, 99.7% known that the person, when they answer the phone, it's far few and in between. Other than that, but most people let me know right away that they are busy and that I'm on a very limited time, or I will get a text message to follow up of the phone call. And even if they don't know, and even if nothing's going on, to just let me know that, you know, they couldn't answer the phone, and that's fine, but I'll give you a call later, and that call never comes. And I don't chase after anyone anymore to be like, hey, do you remember me?
Yeah, but I bet you pick up that phone call when it comes to you.
Yeah, I do.
And I bet you carve out at least, 30 minutes here and 45 minutes there anytime anyone calls, if not more.
I don't run on a schedule. You know, when I have a schedule is when somebody who needs to do a video or conference call, that's when I'm in a schedule. When I'm booking interviews for myself, or like say with you, yeah. Other than that, no. There are many times, even a day when you and I chatted, I didn't look at the time. I didn't even pay attention to the time. There was no time when I'm on the phone with someone.
Yeah. And that is the burden of being this hyper aware, understanding being, because people know that about you and they're like, oh, perfect person. You're the perfect person to talk to. But the perfect person to talk to doesn't get a voice. It's just so weird, right?
Mm-hmm. That's why this interview with you is so different. And when people ask questions like what you had, it uplifts me, and I'm like, oh, someone wants to know something about me.
Yeah, that must be an interesting career, because, and it's actually similar to cooking, right? Because your career is, talking to other people and lifting other people up, and you're really good at it, and you've made other people successful, and you've gotten success out of making other people successful. And it's similar to what I do is I make other people happy. And people ask me, what do you eat? And I'm like, I don't know. I got some pizza. It's similar. You're just a giving person, and it sucks because most people aren't.
When watching the show, Jeana, and Robbie knows this because I said it to him, and you wouldn't be here if I didn't believe it. I got a really great impression about you. I understood you. I still understand you. You know this. I love the fact that you're Scorpio. That doesn't intimidate me. What was going through your head to set the record straight? And not saying one needs to be. Perception is everything. Just in case to the naysayers who are all big and mighty and Goliath behind their little text keyboard. What was going through you emotionally and mentally during certain challenges, during certain times of not knowing whether you were going to be accepted or appreciated or loved for you being who you are, and then playing a game in front of millions of people? What was happening? What was rattling inside of you? Well,
I think that there were so many different moments with different feelings. There's like the during, which during I had a lot of fun, and I was trying to be a sponge, and I have this love of reality TV shows. So like one of my dreams were coming true. A lot of people don't realize like that, I was one of the few contestants on there who just obsess over reality TV. I love the way it's made. I love the way they do it. I think it's such a cool thing, and it's such a tool that Americans and everyone over the world uses to decompress. They watch reality TV shows. And so I was excited to be a part of that for somebody. And I wanted more than just to win the money, to make a good show. And I was excited to be a part of it. And I have this drama background, just like I used to act in haunted houses and stuff like that. I used to act, and I loved theater and being on stage. So like when the lights came on, I was excited to play that game, because that was the part of the show that I thought was interesting. And then when it was time to cook, I was like, okay, I'm going to cook the best I can. So I feel like I went in there and gave it 100% in every aspect. I was playing the game, and the producers were definitely during the time being like, you are doing it right. Thank you. I mean, I told you this. There were moments where they were like, come on guys, like this is the game. And I just felt like I could rise to the occasion, and I could be that person. And it was talked about by producers with me. And that was my motto going in, was this gameplay. And I was stoked to do it. And I still am stoked that I did it. And I watched the show back and I love it. Now, the moment hit me when I realized like, oh, people think I'm horrible. Like not everybody, but there's just certain audience that was like, oh, well, you're a liar, you're a manipulator. And I was like, what? I've never watched a reality TV show and thought those things. There was a lot of stress and like worry, like upset feelings, but they were very weird because I have a very strong sense, and you'd probably understand this a lot. I have a strong sense of wrong and right. When I do something wrong, I can't sleep at night. I get sick. Like when I do something truly wrong, it bugs me. I don't like doing things, even simple stuff. When I do my taxes wrong, anything. When I do something wrong and I mess up, I feel sick to my stomach. I did not have that feeling on this show. I felt like I did it right. So it's weird when people are like, you did something wrong. And I'm like, what? So I've never been like I was like questioning things. And then I kind of had to get through it. And then I talked to the contestants on the show and I had good interviews. And I realized like that's just chatter in the wind, that the people who do matter, that people do understand the show, they loved it. And they loved what I did. And then I kind of built myself back up and I was like, you know what, I'm ready for more. Like I can handle this. I can handle anything. And I'm proud of what I did. So it was a roller coaster, if that can make sense. Definitely a roller coaster of emotions.
How do you feel about yourself having watched a show and to revisit, or from a different perspective from being on the show? And I'm formulating a question here. What was going through your heart and your body to see you for being who you really are, from knowing who you really are and your truth from watching the show?
Yeah, when I watched the show, I had a tons of friends and family around me, and we had we had a huge watch party. And it was so much fun. Like my heart really was filled with joy. It was nerve-wracking. But like I watched it and I thought one, I was hilarious. I'm like, and I literally looked to my friend. I was like, have I always been this funny? And she's like, yes. And I was just like, man, that's crazy. And I just looked at it and I thought like, man, how fun and whimsical and exciting, and what a cool breath of fresh air in the show. Like I really was so proud of myself. And it's so hard to put yourself out there and just let it rip, which is really what I did in every aspect. From the moment I walked in those doors, I was on. And that's not really easy to do all the time. And so I was proud of myself. I was really, really proud of myself.
That is not something that's easy. How many people place restraint on themselves just so they don't have to experience loss or rejection or ridicule? That's huge, what you did for yourself. That's a gift amongst many gifts that you're going to spend the rest of your lifetime enjoying.
Yeah. And a lot of people ask me after the show, like, oh, do you regret anything from the show? Which I thought was such an interesting question, because I regret not winning. That would have been awesome. But like, if I were to go on to that show or any other show, I wouldn't have any less of the intensity and the excitement and the drive that I had there, and the using every tool that they give us and coming at it from every angle. I would do it again. Yeah.
But can you really regret not winning when you did not have complete control over the circumstances and the layout? Like this was not a show or a circumstance or an environment where you controlled. So realistically, would you believe that you did win? You just won in a different way, that it may not have been the mission. It may have been someone else's mission and rules to say, Jeana, this is how you're going to win, for your own gratification and self-evolution, and to better understand who Jeana Marie is, Jeana Pecha. Didn't you really win?
Yeah, honestly, I love that. I really do, because I think that I stood out and I watched it and I learned a lot about myself. And I also loved the way that the show played out. Like I like the way that it played out. So even that, I'm glad that you said that, because I do feel like I won, and I do feel like the show like played out the way that it should. And I'm very happy about it.
I'm glad you're on TikTok. We're going to go ahead and play one of the videos. Today we shop. Tomorrow we cook. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yes.
All right, hold on.
Today, we shop for 2 events at 4 or 5 different stores. This is shopping like a chef, day 1. First, you need a list and coffee. Lots of coffee. If you're a chef like me, you never put any quantities, but you should. First stop, grocery outlet. Fantastic deals. I recommend 10 out of 10. And we've arrived at the Creme de la Creme Restaurant Depot, where restaurants shop. I just don't have time for this shit. I spent a while here, only found 3 things I was looking for. Now I'm in a huge line. And finally, I am done. Time to start prepping. Today,
What I like about that is it's well done. You had to stretch while holding a phone to reach what looked like salmon, the last bag.
Yeah.
In the freezer.
Yep.
Is this really what you got? And then that was cute with the time. I mean, is that like, it seemed as though even though this was a 48-second video clip, what I got from this is that you're in a happy place in yourself because you're doing something that brings fulfillment to you in order to help gift that fulfillment and enjoyment to others.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not great at TikToking. I also loved what you said about not being like that's not your platform, because I'm not great at it, but I am happy doing what I love. And I do love creating and being in my space and getting better at it, because people don't realize, like, as a chef, it seems simple to just like go grocery shopping and then the cooking's the hard part. No, the pre-planning, the shopping, all this stuff's hard, and I'm getting better at it every single day. Like, you have to get better at making lists, and you have to kind of be better at doing even the simple stuff, which is like, okay, we're out of something, or there's only not the quantity you want. But I love those challenges, and those challenges really make me excited, and I want to share more of them. I really do want to find the best platform for me, whether it's TikTok or not, to share those little struggles that chefs don't talk about.
There is a article that was created and done for you. It said pressure cooker, who is Jeana Pecha? And then it gives like information, like I'm going to click on it, age and husband. It was by TVShowstars.com.
Husband.
Yeah.
I don't have a husband.
Yep. This was by TVShowstars.com. Pressure cooker, who is Jeana Pecha, age, husband, and net worth. This was done on January 11th of this year.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
All right. So here's the whole point. All right. So let me go down here. When she was 7 years old, she desired her kitchen. After making her debut in season 1, Pecha plans to launch a new restaurant in summer of 2023. Due to challenging circumstances in her own family during high school, she was placed in foster care. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. A few years later, Pecha appeared on Guy's Grocery Game, a television program with the theme Culinary Saved My Life. Oh, true?
Yes.
Okay. Pecha described how her difficulties have pushed her onward without dwelling on a past or unpleasant memories. Any remark?
Yes. I said at the beginning, culinary really saved my life. Instead of, dwelling on the family struggles that I had and some of the other struggles I had in high school and earlier, I just went right into the kitchen, which some therapists have reached out to me and been like, you should probably talk about that. And I will. But truthfully, a lot of what I've done is push away all the bad emotions I feel and all the things that would have kept me down. And I make sure I wake up as early as I can every day, and I drink water, and I try to treat my body good, so that way I can achieve everything I set my mind to and anything.
Let's see here. Just going through. At the moment, Pecha is teaching cooking classes at Wanderlust Delicato as if, oh God, I'm going to fuck that up. Vicaire wasn't keeping her
Oh,
busy
Vucre.
enough. Wasn't keeping her busy enough already. Care to
How
elaborate?
funny. Yeah, so that was a little while ago. That was right before I started opening my restaurants. I helped open Vucre, which is a New Orleans inspired restaurant in Spokane, Washington. And while I was doing that, I was starting my knife company and apron company, and also teaching cooking classes for Wanderlust Delicato, which was like a cheese and wine shop. And I would basically do cooking classes for them. And then that way they would let me sit in on all their wine tastings, because I really want to learn more about wine. And, I was like, okay, if I do a couple cooking classes a week, I would literally leave the kitchen at Vucre, run to teach a class, stay, do a wine tasting, have to spit because I got to go back to the kitchen to close and do service. And then at night, I would stay up all night working on graphics and trying to get my knives made. And so it was a crazy time in my life.
Okay. Here's where this part is. Who is Jeana Pecha husband? It appears that Jeana Pecha has yet to be married at the moment. On the bright side, she seems to be dating Donald Frias, considering the picture they took on Halloween. Care to comment?
Who wrote this article?
It was, this is me. This is why I always say, like, talk to the person themselves, because there's a reason why I found this and then bringing it up, because the point of it is, and I'm going to answer your question, is too many, if you're able to get a non-paid media opportunity, that is exceptional when we live in a pay-per-play industry, and this scam has been going on for well over 50 years, if not more. The thing of it is, this was done by Simran Kharel, Kharel. Once again, it's on tvshowstars.com. And this was done on January 11th. But they should be reaching out to you to confirm and to get your first story directly from you. So when I found this, I'm like, all right, we're going to find out if Jeana's open to it. What is this all about? So do you care to share who Donald is? And this Halloween photo, because it says here underneath, Jeana Pecha posing in front of the Lost Parrot Cafe. It may also be that Jeana Pecha is currently single and not focused on dating anyone. Below that.
This is a hilarious article. Okay. Well, I am in a relationship with Mr. Donald, but it's not, it's very like private. He actually works with me. It's not, he is like not social media guy. He is not TV guy. We kind of have, I don't know. It's a very interesting relationship, and it's not one that we've been very open about. So it's just funny that they put that there. But we do have a photo on Halloween, but it's very wholesome. I don't know. Very funny. But I mean, the comment is that I am mainly focused on my work, though. He knows that. I know that that's been a huge goal in my life, and literally nothing will take my work away from me at this point in my life. That's my number one goal. And
that is why we're here. That is why we're doing what we're doing. And I just emailed you the link just so you can take a look at it if you want to reach out to them. I'm saying as a publicist, I'm not saying anything is bad about it. I mean, especially since it was, I don't know when to call it, like it was double played or double, where it was made reference and then saying underneath that Pecha, it may also be that you're single. I want to get this. And I'm not even going to go into this, but just to let you know, there is a section of discussion about your net worth. It just says underneath, unfortunately, it hasn't been revealed, but you can read the rest of it. And then, it's a woman. She's a writer. But if you want to reach out to them or something, I don't, like I said, I don't see a problem with this. I do feel that where it could be a problem if this article went in any other direction is when asked, and I'm asking you, because you are Jeana Pecha, you are Jeana Marie. Mm-hmm. Who are you?
Yeah, I mean, I am a 27-year-old entrepreneur chef who is trying to open up her own restaurant in Sacramento, California, and has dedicated most of my life to this career and has all plans to continue to do so while leaving behind a really good name and being good to my staff. And I want to lead the culinary industry in a positive way. And if that means using sustainable ingredients, creating a system that treats staff better and cooks better, and teaches kids that are also going through struggling issues to use work as a tool to get out of those issues. That's really what I want to be known for, is somebody who wants to use my work ethic and my career for good.
We're about to close, and I would like to find out from you, as Jeana Marie, what would you say to Gina Pecha, knowing her so very well, better than anyone else in the entire world and universe, besides God? What would you say to her if ever anyone were to again to try to speak for you, to analyze you, to assess you when evaluating you? What would you like to say to her of how to maneuver through it, deal with it? What would be your best advice for when someone else is trying to claim to know better than she knows better than of her own self?
Yeah. My advice to me and anyone who's going through that is, you know your worth, you know your value, and you know that at the end of the day, you wake up and you work as hard as you can every single day to make the people that you love proud, and that the people that you care about happy, and yourself feel dignified and strong, and you do a great job, and that everyone around you is very proud. And I'm proud of myself, and I'm proud of my future Jeana and my past Jeana, and will continue to do so.
I'm very, very grateful to you, Jeana. All things Jeana Marie, head on over to her Instagram, chef_Jeana Marie. That's CHEF_JEANA_MARIE. Is that the same handle for your TikTok?
My TikTok is just Gina Pecha.
Okay. And that's PECHA.
Yep.
Okay. Carl from New Mexico giving a shout out, saying thank you so much, enjoyed the show, and he said he's going to be watching this season of Pressure Cooker. So it is streaming now and available on Netflix.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I love talking to you. So thank you.
I love talking to you, and we can have many more conversations on air and off air anytime, no BS. And if you ever have any questions, Jeana, just give me a call, no matter what it is.
Absolutely. And you as well.
Who would you like to give a shout out to?
Oh, shout out to all of my friends and family who are helping me open the restaurant. I got a lot of people who are working for free and showing up to my pop-ups and everything. And the restaurant will be open in Sacramento this August. So thank you to everyone helping me with that. Appreciate you all.
That's perfect. And I've got to set you up with my other radio host, Catherine Swain. She's in Madrid or Spain. She's supposed to be coming back, I believe, if not this week, next week. And we got to get you set up with her and then get you on her show.
Oh, yes, I would absolutely love that. So let's chat about that. Yes.
Definitely. Any closing thoughts, anything before we move on with our day?
I think that anyone who's listening to this, I would challenge them, as I'm going to challenge myself, to take 5 minutes to really breathe through everything we talked about and just really take it in and don't let it go to the wayside, because there are some really important things. So thank you. And I'm going to do that as soon as, we're done here, because I think that there was some good stuff.
Thank you, Jeana. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you to everyone for joining us today live on air with Stephen Quilco on Power 98.5 Satellite Radio. Whether you're listening on the iOS or Android app, Alexa, MyTuner, StreamItter.com, Live FM Radio, and more. Power 98.5 Satellite Radio is your premier home and destination, commercial-free for all things news, music, sports, and entertainment, and only the important stuff. But don't worry. We consider everything important in life. But can you imagine, just like with Chef Jeana Marie, how fabulous she is? I mean, come on. We got to hear it from her, not from a third party, not from a subjective or objective article. We got to hear who is Jeana Pecha, Ms. Jeana Marie, Ms. Chef Jeana Marie Pecha. Love her, adore her. This show will be available today on all podcast stations. Definitely check the schedule on Power 98.5 for all shows. Resilient You with Alicia Pazzoni, Catherine and Company with Catherine Swain, as well as my show, Live on Air with Stephen Cuoco. For all upcoming, we will re-air this show. However, don't wait. And you're going to have links to share. So whether you're listening to Live on Air with Stephen Cuoco on Spotify, Amazon Music, or iHeartRadio, or all the above, definitely share that link. It will be available within the next hour or so, but definitely it will be available today. Stay tuned. I know if you've got your notifications on, it will let you know every time a new episode has been uploaded. Jeana knows for her press media kit, go ahead, put that on there, Live on Air with Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5, and then just add whatever link that you feel best that you want to highlight, whether it's Amazon, iHeart, or Spotify, and that you've been on satellite radio. Is there anything else I'll have? Yes, Ryan Murphy, Olympic gold medalist, January 20th, Monday, 11 a.m. Pacific. And then Team USA athlete, professional swimmer, Daniel Deschazner, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. That's on the 17th. And the interview I just recently had, the Valentine's Day special edition with music artist Justin Love. And we did a live music drop of his new single, No Friends. That's available on all platforms. It's also on rotation on Power 98.5. We did an exclusive drop that was just done yesterday. Great song. It's got that summertime Las Vegas Post Malone type of vibes. Love it. You're going to love it too. Seriously, it's a great new single, and I'm going to say it's probably going to be a new hit single from him. I don't see how. And he did state that he's got the what is the video coming out next week, so you can definitely go to his page and check that out. Other than that, we did upload, and if you guys missed the best and most awesome highlights of, and I'm going to it right now on power985.com. Definitely a big thank you to the team over at NBC Universal. The 74th Annual Primetime Emmy Awards. All the best of the highlights and photos of the 74th Annual Primetime Emmy Awards is there on power985.com. Remember, you can either go to live music or the talk show tab, scroll all the way down, and the schedule is there. We will be adding some DJ segments, live DJ segments coming up for the summertime. If not beforehand, we're getting all that in order. And that's a wrap. Enjoy your day. Happy Valentine's Day. Remember, in order to love anyone else, you got to love yourself first, and do your best to love yourself always. Thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to having you here with us again.
Friend us on your socials and let's connect.